Sorry about that. I am back. I think we can start. Sorry, I was dealing with something. I apologize for this. Again, my name is Barbara Mudoka. Thank you so much for joining us. And without further ado, I want us to start so that then we can get to make the most out of this Friday afternoon. I will go ahead and read the house rules, which are that we should continue to, keep our mics muted unless we're speaking. If you have any questions for the panelists during the session, you can feel free to put the questions in the chat. We have a question and answer section that we'll have after the session so that then we are able to hear from the panelists specifically. But if you have any burning question that you don't want to forget, you can feel free to put it in the chat and we'll make sure that we'll be able to ask those. If you want to unmute, especially during the question and answer session, please raise your hand and we'll be able to do that for you. And as usual, this is a safe space for women and women in tech, women inspiring to get into tech. And so let's keep it, Jacqueline, I think something is on your screen. Yes. So let's keep it respectful. Let's keep it encouraging and supportive. Feel free to, ask questions and interact with the panelists, share emojis and all that you can just to show that you're listening. We would really appreciate that. So without further ado, let me introduce our panelists for the day. We have Pauline Namwakira, who you have seen before, and we have Thelma Laria. I hope I've said your name right. If not, please forgive me, and maybe you would be able to say it correctly. Welcome everybody who's joining us, and continue saying where you're joining us from so that we can have a context of who is with us today. So I will read the panelists' bios and then be able to start the session. So I will start with Pauline. Pauline is an AWS authorized instructor specializing in cloud, AI, and data. She has trained and mentored learners across Africa and beyond, supporting their successful transition into high-impact tech careers. Her work focuses on the real-world applications of generative and agentic AI and their critical intersection with cloud infrastructure. Pauline is deeply passionate about digital inclusion and is dedicated to empowering more women to build, experiment, and lead in the rapidly evolving technology landscape. Welcome, Pauline. Hand claps from me and everybody around. And then we have Thelma. She is an accomplished DevOps engineer and tech advocate, specializing in global cloud infrastructure and open research ecosystems. She currently automates and manages critical research infrastructure serving members across 166 countries, connecting millions of researchers and institutions worldwide. Prior to this, Thelma engineered cloud solutions supporting financial services for over 2.2 million users, including major payment systems and government digital platforms in Ghana. A 3 times AWS certified professional and AWS All Builders Welcome Grants recipient, she actively serves as the co-lead of the AWS Accra user group and is a recognized AWS community builder. Deeply committed to building inclusive spaces in tech, Thelma is the founder of Your Choice in Engineering Matters, YCEM in short. And it is a nonprofit supporting young women in STEP and frequently volunteers with Pi Ladies at PyCon USA. Outside of her professional work, she enjoys to swim, yoga, reading, writing, poetry, and spending time with loved ones. And we're going to hear so much more about her and Pauline as we go through the session. So a warm welcome to you, Thelma. Turn on your video if it's not on already so that the ladies can see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So
Thank you.
in Kenya, we say karibu. or is it also in Tanzania? Yes, Kenya is known to sort of quote unquote butcher Swahili. So please forgive me. I think Rebecca from Tanzania, if I butcher your language. Anyway, let's go ahead and start. So we'll start with the normal question of where you started, right? And I would like for Thelma and Pauline, maybe in that order, Thelma first, then Pauline, to tell us who are in the audience today, what is virtualization and cloud computing, and why are they important in today's enterprise architecture?
All right, good morning, everyone. For starters, yes, Barbara, you butchered my surname. It's actually Thelma Lai, and I'm
Like,
grateful to be here. Yeah, I just also want to give a disclaimer. I have a cold, so occasionally you hear me cough, so bear with me. Well, in simple terms, virtualization is stimulating software to act like a physical computer. So I'm sure we've all heard of like virtual machines. We're talking about cloud. We're all here to learn something. So simply, people like to simply put it like you are renting someone's machine to use. And that's honestly simply the simplest way you can describe virtualization. So someone asks like why what's in the cloud? Why the cloud? So cloud computing is simply somebody has or a company has their servers running in a data center somewhere, and you have decided that you want to run some of your application on these servers so that you don't have to pay for, let's say, from our part of Africa, we have a hotter climate. You don't have to pay for cooling machines to cool these servers. So you're basically renting their servers in wherever in the world to be able to run your application to use their resources like RAM, CPU. In simple terms, that's an aspect of virtualization, and that's cloud computing. Why is it important in today's modern enterprise architecture? I'm sure before the AI wave, there was also the cloud wave, and a lot of companies were migrating to the cloud without even knowing if they needed a cloud. So I like to say it is important depending on the kind of architecture the enterprise or the company has. Do you have a large customer base? Do you have very dynamic traffic that you can predict? Then the cloud is your to go to, because then remember you are renting to use just the resources you need. So you can easily scale up, you can easily scale down. But if you have a business where maybe you're a startup, you just have one or two customers, you have no business thinking about complex technology like cloud and Kubernetes. So it depends on your business and how important cloud will be for you.
Thank you for that, Thelma. Pauline, do you have anything else to add on to what Thelma has said about your field?
Yeah, Thelma was spot on in there. Yeah, I just use my own. Yeah, we always have our own ways of defining this. So I use analogies a lot. I'm a teacher, so I just go back to what I mentioned. In that, you see, traditionally, and I'm going to use power. How we get power. So before I was born, guys, I was told that if you needed power, then you had to generate it yourself. So, like, we do not have, like, in Kenya, we have KPLC right now, Kenya Power. The others, wherever country you're coming from, please let me know who generates power for you. But before that, let's say you have a manufacturing industry. The only way you will get power is actually buy those big generators and then figure out how to generate it yourself, either solar or wind or whatever, uh, hydroelectric power as well. So, and then we moved from that to right now, we have this Kenya Power that came in and said, guys, I'll handle that big aspect of the generators and water and whatever happens. And for you, all of you, what you're going to do is you pay me. So depending, like, pay me as as you use the electricity. So I'm going to give you like some token based metering aspect of it. I will handle the cabling, all the infrastructure, and so on. And then you just use electricity and pay me for that. And that is a shift for us, because imagine I wouldn't have electricity right now if I didn't have all the infrastructure to generate that. And that is exactly what cloud computing is doing for us right now. So, from my analogy, before, if you needed like a website, just a simple website I'm hosting for my users, then I'd have to think about where am I going to get the servers physically, and then build my own data centers and put my servers in there. And that is a lot of work to think about. And servers are expensive. Please go Google how much a server costs, and let me know in the chat. So with the shift of cloud computing, now these other companies, now the Kenya power of the cloud are the likes of, I think we are kind of biased because me and Thelma are both AWS people somehow. But we have the likes of Google Cloud, the likes of Microsoft Azure, Oracle Cloud, who are public cloud providers, and they tell us, you know what, you don't have to worry about building these big data centers or figuring out how to purchase the server. Why don't I give you these IT resources, over the internet, and then you pay me some small amount as you use it, and if you don't need it, it's okay. You can just, not use it at all. So I think that answers why cloud is important, because right now I can host whatever, like, as long as I have an idea, I can just use the cloud. That is now the concept of how Thelma was putting it. You rent someone's computer. So we rent AWS computer, Azure computer, and then I use it to host whatever I want to host, be it an application, whatever I can think of. So right now, it's important, because no matter how small or big your business is, you can always utilize the cloud infrastructure to and scale as you wish. Yeah. So I think that is what I will land on for anyone who is literally so new and they are wondering what cloud is.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you so much, Thelma and Pauline. To add now, Pauline and Thelma. So we'll go Pauline, then Thelma. What inspired you to pursue a career in cloud infrastructure and cloud computing and virtualization? And what is something you wish you knew when you were starting out?
Okay, so my path to tech has been a little bit crazy, but I wouldn't say I was inspired actually. I just got myself there. So what happened is, when I was in campus, I was actually in the tech field, but telecommunications. And while I was pursuing that, I met a friend who was doing some IT. So he's one of those, genius guru friends that I would always get him on his laptop coding and coding and coding. And I was interested, like, what are you doing? And he was like, our trainers here in campus are teaching us C# and whatever. And the real world, people are using more. People need more. And he was actually learning. He was really good in Python. And I asked him, like, what do I need to do for me to be ready? Because even me, I thought I learned how to code in campus, but I was doing so much maths and physics. And I was wondering, how am I going to use all this? So he told me, you know what you can do? Actually, he gave me a book, an online book, and told me, you know what, just go study Python. But studying on my own was crazy, because just learning everything from scratch, it was so difficult. And then I actually saw a poster. It's from an organization called Ajira Kenya, and they were offering like cloud computing course. But as part of the curriculum, they said cloud databases, Python, Linux, and whatever. So what caught my eye was Python. I did not know what cloud was completely. I was just, okay, you guys are teaching Python. I'm trying to learn that. So I actually enrolled, but actually the main curriculum was cloud computing. Python was just, a part of it. So when I joined that program, I was like, okay, when are we getting to Python? And then they start introducing cloud. And I think it was around 2021, and it was like the first cloud cohort in Kenya. And I'm like, oh, cloud is the next big thing. I'm like, interesting. Now I
Mm.
want to learn that. So I now started to understand what cloud is, how it's helping businesses, and now I was inspired to pursue it. I did not know it before, just from learning that.
Mm.
I said, okay, I love this thing and I would like to learn more about it. Yeah. Something I wish I knew when starting out. I think majority of the times when you're just starting out on anything, it becomes overwhelming
Mm.
because there are too many things. Cloud on its own, it's a whole, uh, big thing on its own. So I think I got overwhelmed a lot,
Mhm.
thinking I needed to know everything,
Mm.
servers, databases, all this. And yeah, when I was starting out, I think the only thing I wish I had known is just take it, step one step at a time, bit by bit. Even right now, 5 years later in, I feel like I still don't know much. But we keep moving. But now I am calm knowing that no one told you need to know it all. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
that's it.
Thelma?
All right. Similar to Pauline, I don't think I was inspired. I more of stumbled into cloud actually. So this was during the COVID-19 pandemic. And honestly, that's what COVID gave to me. Anyone that asks me how I got into cloud, I always say that's what COVID gave to me. Because the
Mm.
world came to a standstill. There was not really much going on. So that was really when online classes were trending. So initially, I started with data science. So I used to go for data science classes. Quite honestly, in person. And looking back, that was quite brave in that season. But I realized that I was not really interested in data science, and that's a good thing. Like it's very good to realize what you like and what you don't like early
Yeah.
on. You can only find out through exploring.
Yeah.
So the next thing that my friend actually sent me was Azibi Africa's cloud computing online course. So, long story short, I got into it, and that's how my cloud computing journey started. It was tough, honestly, because back then I was in school, I was doing my biomedical engineering undergrad, and I was in my final year. And oh my goodness, it's been years now, but I still remember how difficult it was balancing both of it. But it was really worth it looking at where I have how far it has brought me. So that's how my career in cloud started. So I moved on to being a junior trainer while I was in school. Then I got an engineering job as in my national service. Then I got my first engineering job, and then now I'm a DevOps engineer. So I would say that cloud is so huge because even though I have been in it for 5 years, similar to Pauline, I have had different roles to wear, different hats to wear. So I've had to be a trainer, I've had to be a cloud engineer, and now I'm a DevOps engineer. And you learn so many different things depending on the role you are in.
Yeah.
And something I wish I had known when starting out. So I'll take this on two ways, the technical side and the soft side. So technical, I'd wish I had really zeroed in into my foundations. So I'm talking about Linux and I'm talking about networking. When I started, I really was running away from networking. I was basically learning networking so that I would have enough information to teach, to pass my exams, to do what I have to do. And
Mm.
when you build your foundation earlier on, everything else seems to connect the dots. Because maybe almost everything, if not everything, is built on Linux. So if you have that foundation, it's so much easier troubleshooting. Likewise, networking. It's literally physical networking that has been incorporated into cloud networking. So mastering your basics would have been something I wish I had known instead of just doing surface level learning. But then again, I was a student. I had lecture notes also to study. So
Yeah.
yeah. And on
Yeah.
the soft side, do not expect overnight success. Not everybody's journey is the same, right? So
Mm.
some people
Mm.
start off, they get like their global roles, and you're like, oh my god, how did they do that? Some people start off and like, it's baby steps. They are now climbing now. So do not expect overnight success, but be committed to the journey because you have to, especially now that a lot of people are getting into cloud, you have to commit to it. You have to give employers a reason to want you out of there. 1,000 people that are applying for the same role.
Mhm.
You have to be unique and not just follow what everyone is doing.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for that. I want to go to the next question, which is about sharing one impactful project or experience you have had deploying or managing virtualization and cloud computing environments. You can do Thelma and then Pauline.
Okay. I'm thinking of what's the borderline of not sharing too much in terms of NDA.
Of your NDA, don't break your NDA for us.
But I would say, because maybe just because I'm pretty new in my current role, but I would say I'll give just a little bit of both. So previously, I used to work in the fintech, right? So
Mhm,
basically, I was part of the team that was setting up infra in the cloud for a lot of Ghanaians. So we are talking about like Pauline's example, she used Power. So we had an app that would allow Ghanaians to easily buy prepaid. I don't know if it's called prepaid in every country actually, but to buy electricity without
mhm.
having to, leave their house or like go to their meter. And
Nice.
we needed to do a couple of migrations for that. And it was really impactful because I use the app. I know lots of people that use the app. So it felt really good to be part of the team that is
Mhm,
building the infrastructure for millions of Ghanaians to be able to accessibly update their electricity when it runs out. And in my current role, which is more the reach is more huge. Recently I was working on a new project that looks at making it easy to match funders to their researchers. So, research needs funders, right?
yes.
So basically, the recent project I did was to set up infrastructure to make this matching very seamless. This is like low level, how the lowest level I can say, but that also like is impactful. I'm not in the research field, but anytime I see anything about research citation, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm part of the team that is making somebody's research come to life, and that's
Mhm.
great for me.
Yeah, yeah. Pauline?
Yeah, so you know, Thelma has been in the technical industry a lot. For me, I've more been into the training side, but I'd say like, yeah, they always step up. So I think my current one I'd say is the most impactful for me.
Mhm,
Right now, I'm building my own learning management system. Like so into tech and education in tech. So have been building my own LMS and for my own website as well. So it's called sentibay.com. And of course, being in the cloud industry, of course, I'm going to use cloud
yeah.
to host all of it, the front end, back ends, the databases as well. So I think there is always something to learn. You think you
Yeah.
have something figured out, but there is always something new to learn in terms of cost management. Sometimes I share it with users, and now I am it's like a one man army
Mhm,
in the whole tech thing. So I'm able to foresee everything. Basically, I do the testing of it. I share the details with also some of my colleagues and test in terms of latency, how quick it is, are
mhm,
the videos playing on the website? Will everyone be able to, have a better learning experience? So yeah, I think that will be my most impactful because I kind of foresee everything end to end. Yeah, and I share the site. It's still under building,
mhm,
but the whole learning management system is built. So now it's just in terms of putting all the courses in there and making it accessible to everyone else. So I'll
mhm.
share that by the end of the
Yes.
session. So you guys can
Awesome.
also give me feedback.
Yes, thank you. And congratulations to both you and Thelma for the work that you've been able to do. setting up these different infrastructures. And now that, Pauline, you're wanting to build something of your own, it's amazing to hear that also. Now we can move into the navigation side of our careers. Finding out how you managed to do some things over the course of the years now. And my first question for that would be, what challenges have you faced as a woman working in the cloud and virtualization industry, and how did you overcome them? And did you actually feel like there was it's more male dominated or not? Because sometimes some industries don't give you that feeling, but maybe you can say from your experience. Pauline and then Thelma.
Okay, so challenges I've faced. I think on one side it will be something like I brought onto myself, just the fear, the imposter syndrome. I do believe actually the cloud industry is kind of a male-dominated industry as well. You'll find that majority of the people you work with, the balance is always missing out in that aspect. So I think starting out, I was so afraid. I felt like, and that was on my end, and I'll talk about how I managed that. So I was so afraid, thinking like the imposter thing, imposter syndrome, thinking, okay, I'm not enough. Maybe what do I know? Also, but I think the thing is, with more experience and the more you pass different I think we always have setbacks in life, no matter where it is. So both in career, both in life. And the more you navigate one, the next time you get the next one, you'll always be like, you have now evidence of I made it through this, so I'm gonna make it through the next level again. And I think for me it was more of training, having one cohort go ahead, and then I'm like, okay, they passed and they're all okay. So I did my job actually well. And now I have the evidence to, showcase, like in the next time I face a hurdle, I'm like, okay, I was able to do this before, so I can do it again. So that helped for me. And it also helps in terms of projects, like if you are kind of learning and you haven't gotten into the job industry as well, it's those projects that are able to build your confidence, because you'll be like, I was able to manage this and it went live, okay. So I have evidence of managing it. The other challenge I have faced, so I think it was much easier for me when I was working across the African industry as well. But then with more growth comes more responsibilities, and now you start being deployed worldwide. Now you meet people from, I think I'll just give a story. At the time, I was embarrassed about it, but I'll tell you. So at some point, I was deployed to do a training for a Germany cohort. And yeah, at the time, like I was the only trainer, so handling the whole training end to end. And I remember joining in for the first time. Oh God. So I think some male participants dropped out of the program because they didn't give a major reason, but you imagine it's session one. This is a 3-month training. So of course, session one is introduction, what is cloud and whatever. I cannot go deeper than that because there is a curriculum. And I think the reason they gave was, I'm telling them everything they know. So like they know everything. There is nothing I can teach them. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is day one. And things like that. Sometimes you just know it's a kind of stereotype, but it kind of lowers your esteem a little bit. And then, moving forward through the cohort, you start getting issues coming up. Like, of course, we request feedback a lot. And some of the things that came up was, I cannot understand what she's saying. She has this accent that does not, it's not good with us. And they were like, maybe you should find a Native American to train us. Like, we need native English speakers.
Wow.
And I think that one like got me down, 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 down. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I doing? Maybe I should just stop and whatever. But again, I was the only one. So I
Mhm.
needed to keep going. And now that is where the concept of, if you have, like, I have done this before and it went okay. So I already had evidence, like, 500 plus learners have been trained with me. They understood the concept, they passed the exam, some even got into the job market as well. So at that point in time, I just knew, okay, it's okay. And for the people who actually remained till the end, they actually did the exams passed. I still talk to them to date. So I think those are some of the issues that would
Yeah.
always surface up, that try to just bring you down. And I think it's even harder being a woman and an African woman in a global market.
Mhm.
But guys, we keep pushing. I mean,
Yes,
I
we
think we,
must.
we are great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Thank you for that story, Pauline. And Thelma, what is your experience?
All right. Definitely know Pauline's experience. Anytime this question is asked, I wonder if the person asking wants to know about if I have experienced any discrimination because I'm a woman, similar to
Mhm.
what Pauline has shared. So I will start with that. Fortunately, I haven't. I've been so blessed to work with amazing colleagues who have always been supporting me. And this is, I say blessed because every single role I have been in, and I say this as a media team, I am 99% out of the time I have been the only female. And
Mhm.
currently in my current role, I'm the only female in the infrastructure team and I'm the only black person there. But I have had amazing colleagues who always want to make sure that I'm comfortable, but not too comfortable. And I'm given the resources to make the impact that is required of me. So
Mhm.
that has really been a blessing. On the other side, I would say for challenges, well, the imposter syndrome is I feel like every person, both male and female, goes through that. But
Yeah.
mm, I'm not generalizing. Maybe I should just speak for myself. But we women tend to sit in it more instead of just doing what it takes to push you out
Mhm.
of it. And literally, there's science backing why you are feeling that way. It's not your fault that you're having imposter syndrome. It's just your brain trying to conserve energy because you're learning something new. So
Yeah.
anytime you're having imposter syndrome, just remember that like it's just a natural behavior of your brain and it's not a problem with you. And challenge, I think the biggest challenge I have faced was health wise. And
Mm.
this may lead to like sometimes recruiters stereotyping, and honestly it's not our fault because like we are women. There's a time that you have to go on, like maternity leave. I haven't done that yet, but like I've seen a lot of stories of women that went on maternity leave and then they lost their job when they came back. But when I say
Yeah.
health wise, I had a role where I had to constantly be up throughout the night working, and it took a toll on my health. It took a
Mm.
toll on my health, especially as a woman, in terms of like my cycle, because
Mm.
you need your body has a clock. You need sleep,
Yeah.
and it's a very challenging role, honestly, if you have to be up throughout the night. So that's the biggest challenges I've faced in terms of working in the cloud space. Mine was health actually. But in
Mm.
terms of team members, I've had really amazing team members. So I'll just add to the side that like when your team, in my experience, since I have no challenges, when your team member puts faith in you, you have to deliver, right? You
Yeah.
shouldn't take their faith for granted
Yeah.
because honestly, there are lots of men in this field because why am I always finding myself to be the only female in my immediate team? Are the
Mhm.
women not interested in cloud or are they not getting the opportunities? So if you as a woman has been given the opportunity to be there, you shouldn't close the door based on your behavior or your work ethics for them to say, oh, we've had a very bad experience hiring a female, so I don't think we should hire a female again. It's wrong in every aspect of the person saying that statement, and it's wrong in the aspect of you who have pushed them to say that statement.
Mm.
So in a nutshell, that is my experience. My biggest challenge was health wise, but outside that I've had amazing colleagues working with.
That's really fantastic. That's really good. And thank you for that. You've even segued us into the next section for the support system. We like to talk about understanding the fact that we are not islands and we work with people. And like you've had a supportive team in every role that you've played. It's been a chance of luck, we would say that you've had supportive team, but also that maybe at this point that people are recognizing that if people do work well, there's no need to put them down because of their gender or anything about that, but to support them to move towards the goal together. And so my question would be for both of you is, how important do you think has asking for help and or mentorship or opportunity been in your growth in your career? How important has that been for you? Either asking for help, seeking out opportunities, or seeking out mentorship? And maybe you can give us one example.
Okay, who's taking it, me or Pauline?
Thelma, you can go first.
Okay. I'm a big preacher on community mentorship. I absolutely thrive on that. You have to mentor and you have to be mentored. And I've had amazing mentors in my journey. I think I've been so blessed in my cloud computing journey. I've had my very first mentors were obviously my Azubi Africa trainers. It was so the lights in me that I didn't see for cloud computing,
Mhm.
which I am very grateful for. So even one of my trainers, so this is an example, one of my
Mhm.
trainers followed up with me that do I want to because I remember I said I was a student, do I want to have a
Yeah.
career in cloud computing or do I want to have a career in my undergrad, which was biomedical engineering? And at that time, I was in a dilemma. I didn't know what I wanted, so I told him, and then he directed me to reach out to one gentleman who had actually gone through my same experience in my school. So he went to my university, did the same course I did, just that we were not in the same year. And now he's abroad and he's like a serious person in the cloud field. I'm talking he works with IBM. So
Mm.
for those of us who don't know, IBM is one of the top cloud fields, one of the top tech field companies actually. So I
Mhm.
reached out to him. I didn't know him from anywhere. I reached out to him on LinkedIn and then he responded. I told him that, oh, I got a recommendation from so and so that said I should reach out to you. So he the first thing he did was look at my LinkedIn profile, which I understand because somebody of his like level wants to make
Yeah.
sure they're pouring out to somebody that would be impactful.
Yeah.
And luckily at that time I had like done my cloud certifications and I was still in school. So he said that, oh, this was somebody that he could work with. And he's been so life changing in
Mhm.
terms of my cloud journey. The second aspect is opportunities, right? I wouldn't call her a mentor, but I had known her from school.
Mhm.
And so when I was applying for my previous role, I saw she worked there and I reached out to her. We were very close in school, right?
Mhm.
So I reached out to her that, oh, I'm applying for this role in the company you work out. Can you give a recommendation for me? So this, I'm not shy to ask for help. You
Yeah.
should always ask for help. No one is an island, like you said. You
Mhm.
can't get there by yourself. So I told her this, and she was like, okay, she has no clue about cloud because she was in the design team,
Mhm.
but she's going to reach out to the hiring manager. So she reaches out to the hiring manager and says, look, I know this girl back from school. She's very dedicated and committed. I don't know anything about cloud. I don't know if she's capable. All I know is she's like a very good person to work with. So can you interview her and see for yourself?
Mhm.
And that's literally how I got the role. So you never know who you can ask to say your name that would pivot your career. Do not feel shy. And also, I add this that if a person is recommending you, their integrity is also on the line. So I
Right.
just don't give recommendations anyhow because my reputation is on the line. So it's a big deal for somebody who mentors you or somebody you've asked for help to recommend you. So especially since we are the minority, you'd
Mhm.
have to, prove that you are worth the recommendation.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Pauline?
Yeah, so mentorship has been really important. I think for me, majority of the gigs I get are from people I know.
Mm.
And even my first role, I got from my mentor just recommending me to the company. That was like a junior trainer. And honestly, at the time, I just finished like the basic certification in cloud. So I wouldn't say like I was a big deal. I did not know anything at the time, but just through like seeing how you work, how I presented myself throughout the coursework, he basically recommended me. And I remember my CV. I don't think I can even show that to someone right now. It was bad. I was like, if I was the hiring manager and someone gave me this CV, I wouldn't hire them. But I think the recommendation from my mentor just like, was a lot. It proved something,
Yeah.
and I was able to get my first role. So, and he mentors me to date. He's always on the checkout for me. Even just being here for me to know Af Chicks. He recommended me to someone, and someone was looking for, do you know a girl in who is
Yeah.
interested in AI? And then my mentor reached out to me and he's like, I know this guy who is looking for someone. Can you go do it? And I was like, oh, thanks. So I think the rooms I get into are always just from people voting for me and who know my work as well. So that has been really important. And also apart from that is, just the communities I'm in and showing like what I do. So every time I speak, I just speak for myself. You never know who you're speaking to. So yeah, I ask people, maybe, yeah, I might be a little bit shy on the help side, but then you ask for help in that, but not sometimes not directly, whereby, if you want to be in a specific position or in a specific room, just going to those people and talking to them and telling them, you know what, this is what I do. So in case you're looking for someone who is in this space, blah, 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 feel free to reach out to me. It might not be immediate, but
Yeah.
sometimes, that picking yourself out to people who make decisions as well can bring up something in the future. So yeah, mentorship is important. I ask for mentorship from people in spaces, and sometimes I'm even shocked because I remember the other day, I think just a few months ago, there is a mentor of mine from AWS who I was talking to, and I requested her to mentor me. And actually, our discussions, I wanted just mentorship on cloud and whatever, but our discussions shifted, and now she was, telling me, no, Pauline can do much better than this. How about you start your own thing and whatever? And that is how, here at this point, building my own, edtech company as well. And the conversation basically shifted from that. So sometimes you figure out some opportunities that you might not have thought of before. And yeah, that has been great.
Great. So what I'm hearing from you too is that you sought out mentors, or you found mentors along your path, and when they gave you opportunity, you actually went for them and you put yourself out there to experience what this might have been, right? And I think that's really, really important for us who are listening to note that we all want mentorship from someone or somewhere, and when we do get that opportunity, sometimes the imposter syndrome comes in, or you're just afraid that this mentor is too big a person for them to see that they can help me, and you back out on the opportunities. But that doesn't help anybody. So I hope that even as we're continuing to listen to Pauline and Thelma, we are hearing that they go for it. They go for the opportunity, and that is why they've been able to build the infrastructure and the things that they've been able to do. So I hope we're writing down notes. You can see I have my pen here. I'm just like, yeah, nodding away furiously at what Pauline and Thelma are talking about. And so I hope that this is also something that is resonating for the people, our audience today. I want to move on to the next section, because the next question was answered already by your examples from each of you. I want us to move to the next section, which is about advice to the early career professionals, or the people who are here who are looking to venture into virtualization and cloud computing. And the question is, let me see. Yes. We've talked a lot about the technicalities and, the practice and the Python and, the courses that you've done, which you'll also maybe we can ask you to share some courses or links where we can go and start learning about virtualization and computing. But what personal attributes would you advise someone to cultivate if they want to successfully thrive in this industry today? I think Pauline can start and then Thelma can answer.
Okay, so personal attributes. I think the first one will be, I'm trying to find a better word. It's more of finding that consistency and resilience within the space. In that, I think one of the words I normally tell a lot of people is, when you're starting out, just do what you can with what you have and do it right now. You don't have to wait till further on, and be resilient in it. And I'm not saying, sometimes people say, okay, I read like 2 hours daily. I won't lie, I'm not that kind of person. Like, sometimes I have bad days where I don't get anything done. But I'd say what got me to this point in time is, I really don't give up. Like, today might be my bad day, but tomorrow I'll wake up and get that thing done. So resilience is, very important. And the thing is, with the tech field, anything in tech is, the evolution is so constant and so fast. I can barely keep up with what is happening right now. So it's only resilience that can, help you just push further. And with resilience, I don't mean like try figure out everything at once. We all don't know everything till now. So just what you can, and use the resources you have. I also hear people saying, but there are no resources out here. Me getting started, YouTube is a free resource. I mean, and you can just get started over there. So it's just that drive, that grit, that consistency that, yeah, I would want you to build, if there is anything. Yeah.
Thank you, Pauline. Thelma?
All right. I would say push the shyness away. That's the first one. Push the shyness away. Because this is not an industry where you can be shy, especially with where it's going to. Yes, you'll be behind your laptop working most of the time, but depending on the kind of opportunities you want, you have to push the shyness away. And well, this is an advice I also have to take myself. Build in public. I've seen so many people build in public and get so many crazy opportunities. Like, LinkedIn is an amazing app that I feel all of us are sleeping on. People are getting so many amazing, mind blowing opportunities from just building in public. And the only way you can build in public is if you push the shyness away, right? Sometimes, back to the imposter syndrome, you're wondering what I'm posting, is it worth it? Will people be able to relate to it? Will it show that my knowledge is shallow? There are different people on LinkedIn. There are the beginners, there are those who want to become a beginner, there are the intermediates, there are professionals. So obviously you'll find somebody that will relate to your posts some way, somehow, depending on the level you are currently on. So do it whilst you are feeling cringe. Ugh, do I want to do this? Do it regardless. And I give a personal story. There was a time I was very active on LinkedIn where I used to post a lot of our cloud stuff. There was this I think it was a solutions architect. I used to work with AWS. So he used to ask questions about cloud every morning and then I would answer. And I didn't even know people were reading that. And through that, an engineer working at AWS reached out to me in UK. I didn't know this man from anywhere. I had never even seen his name. He's like, oh, he's been seeing my post and he's very impressed. I'm like, people are actually watching. Like, you may think no one is like reading your post or anything. So push the shyness away and just do what you can, like Pauline said. And the second one is, we have a term called tutorial hell. Try and move out of tutorial hell. So tutorial hell is simply being a beginner and you're always watching tutorials. You're always watching the same videos. You have to build. And this brings back to building a public. You have to, move away from the videos. The videos and the documentations are there to give you like the core understanding, the architecture. And now you have to take that knowledge and apply it to something that you love or something that you think might be impactful. So whilst you are building a public, I build projects that people can relate to, because the more relatable your projects, the more likely people can relate to. So for example, you're just going to say, "Oh, I built an app today." No one can relate to that. What's the app? Why did you build the app? What's the inspiration? And a very common thing I've seen here with the Ghanaians is we've had a lot of issues coming up. So people are building apps for that. For example, when we had electrical issues and then the timetable was brought out, some of the engineers build applications where you could easily use your phone and ask the bots that, "Oh, my lights go off today." And you can imagine the number of people that, related to it, wanted to use it, right? So this is advanced level actually, but you can start. I'm just trying to give you the mindset. You can start from somewhere and then grow. So like think of impactful ways. Don't just come and post that, "Well, I've started my cloud journey." Like add some, some perspective to it, some human touch to it. And so that would be my contribution.
Thank you. Wow. I think Ivy and Jacqueline, who are from the admin, from Afchik's team, I have written down some really good blurbs for our socials, just so that then we can continue to encourage people in our network, because you guys have really dropped some good gems here. Now going from personal to now like technical. What entry points would you recommend for women interested in building a career in virtualization and cloud to get into? We can do Thelma and then Pauline. And you can also feel free to share the links on the chat if there are any.
Okay, I would say entry level, very basic what I can think of right now is cloud support. It's a very great entry level. This is if it could be if you have a system admin background or if you don't have any background at all. Being in cloud support, which actually was my first, in that technical engineering role, gives sort of lays the platform for you to start your cloud journey. A lot of mistakes I see honestly on LinkedIn is people starting with cloud solutions architect. It's not a junior role. It can never be a junior role, because to be a cloud solutions architect, you have to understand the wide variety of services in cloud. You have to understand how they integrate with them. Because for example, one use case from your customer could have like tens of services that could solve that use case. But why are you picking that particular service? A junior level engineer will not have that breadth and depth in knowledge to be able to do that. So, a solutions architect is not necessarily a junior level for someone who doesn't have any background in tech or cloud. So, it's a level you can aspire to, but just don't, start with the mindset that like I can automatically zoom into that. So there's cloud support. There's even junior cloud operations. There's a junior DevOps engineer. So you could pick up from there. And the amazing thing about cloud is you can, be the niche you want to be, because the fact that you started from support doesn't mean you have to stay in support. You can stay in support and be like a senior cloud support. You can move to cloud solutions architect. You can move to DevOps. You can even move to cloud security. Like there's so many. So just know that your beginning is not your end. That's what I was saying.
Thank you. Pauline?
Okay, I'm sorry. Had some
Oh,
other noise going on.
sorry.
Okay, so entry points for building a career. So, in terms of resources, so I'll just share a couple of links on the chat that
Okay.
I do recommend if you're getting started out. Um, Maybe let me throw this question back. Is it entry point in terms of what to learn or entry point in terms of market wise? or both?
You can give us both. I was thinking about the technical skill to learn, but also the market, if you have
Okay.
information on
So,
that.
okay. So in terms of resources, now the thing is, I am biased. I own a lot of AWS resources. So if you're interested in AWS cloud, like that, called Skill Builder, where they have like a lot of nice resources. It's what I started with, and helped me understand cloud a little bit better. In terms of career-wise, I think Thelma covered that as well. Some of the roles to go for and what to get started with, as well. So in that aspect, I do recommend that. You can also check, like, I have a YouTube channel and it has some videos on cloud computing and virtualization, just entry level. I'll share the link to that as well. So if you want to learn by me, you can check that out. But then if you're building a career, let's say in cloud engineering and cloud infrastructure, apart from just understanding cloud on its own, like we have the cloud services, but there are these, let's say, background things that you need to be aware of. For example, as Thelma mentioned, when you started understanding networking, I think there at some point back, I attended a workshop which was networking related and I loved it. So just understanding those concepts about networking in general in tech, understanding Linux, it's not cloud, but those things are what sets you up for the career in cloud engineering. Linux, networking, uh, yeah, are very important for now, and then others you can build on after cloud. So I think, yeah, that's what I'd say.
Thank you. Thank you. For our next question, I want both of you to let us know, what excites you most about the future of cloud technology, infrastructure, and the role that women are playing in it or will play in it? So we can go Pauline and then Thelma.
Okay, so I think my answer is already part of the question already. I'm so excited about the integration that AI has with cloud. I think you'll normally hear a lot of people say, like, AI would kind of be impossible if it's not first the concept of virtualization that came in, and then the concept of cloud. And now we are running these amazing things in the AI space, but they're built on top of cloud, because where do we get the data to train, our AI systems? It's like big, large amounts of data, but it's only the cloud that is able to support, that sort of technology that enables the training as well. So I'm excited about, yeah, I think right now what you can do, and this spans across all careers. I think all careers, we normally say integrating AI into whatever you're doing out there will put you a few steps ahead. And that is also the same with us who are in like the cloud industry as well. There is a lot of opportunities if you're able to integrate whatever you're learning. So, for example, there was some time I was just doing some sort of technical interview for a DevOps role. Yeah, I did not get it, but I'll just say what what happened in stage one that I found wonderful. So they for the stage one, not stage one, I think it was more of the technical interview. They were trying to they gave you like some sort of, you know, AI, stuff that you had to use to troubleshoot like a scenario. So the concept was, we have these servers that are down, but you just don't troubleshoot like that, because you have to save time and you have to document how you're going around the troubleshooting process. And they kind of gave you some servers that were AI servers and some agents that will help you with the troubleshooting process. So what you had to do was actually question the agent, and so that they are able to see what is your thinking process of the problem. So they'll tell you, okay, we have this agent that knows everything about logs. We have this other AI agent that knows everything about, the monitoring aspect. This other AI agent will understand the infrastructure. So you're going to prompt the agent and now figure out the troubleshooting process yourself. And it was a must you use AI to it, because the submission, you'll have to submit what were your prompts to the
Mm-hmm.
agent, so and how exactly did you go about the process. So you had to export the whole chart and whatever. And I think that is what you're moving towards. So even all these roles in cloud and whatever, they're trying to use AI to integrate with, so that we are able to speed up the process. And it's
Mm-hmm.
only if you are AI ready and understand the concepts that you are able to basically bridge the gap. The role that women will play shaping in shaping this. Okay, so I think one thing I'd say that AI has brought us to the same level ground. I don't know how I put it, but it's a new technology, so we are all learning it. So even if you are like 40 years into the industry, and now we have this technology that is coming up, okay, has come up already, but we all like were leveled up, and now we were to start like learning from scratch. How is this going to help us? So I think if more women take this up and understand, like we are now on a level ground, in that we are now learning all over again in all these industries. And if we take this up, like, and learn more about it, we are able to position ourselves better in the industry, no matter how long or how new you are in the industry. So I just say that. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Selma, what are your thoughts?
Okay, so I would say what excites me the most, honestly, terrifies me the most. So it's a love and then a hate relationship, but it's how fluid my career can be. I could wake up today and decide that I don't want to be a DevOps engineer anymore. I want to be, let's say, an AI engineer, or even a solutions architect. All I need to do is, put in the hard work steady, because that's what, the dynamics ways of tech gives you. Like, it's always changing, there's always this new tool, there's always something to learn, something to find out. And with AI, it's even more crazy. Like, there's always weekly new updates, crazy updates. And that means these updates means that what companies may decide to use them in their infrastructure, meaning what they'll need that skill set. So I could literally wear any hat I want to be. And that means I'll have a very diverse career if I want to be. I wouldn't have to be stuck in a box. That's what excites me. That also terrifies me, because you have to keep up with the pace
Yeah.
today. Today is so crazy nowadays. But for the role of women playing, it reminds. I saw a post recently of the Anthropic team highlighting the females in their team. So for those of us who don't know, Anthropic is the team behind Claude AI, and it was a very refreshing post, because I was seeing women in high levels playing a role in shaping this AI, and it's both male and female who use this AI. So it's very calming to know that, like, if I ask the AI any female sensitive topic, I know some way, somehow, based on this post I saw, there's a feminine input into this.
Yeah.
Because what's the best way to train the AI than on data that has been lived actually by a female? And
Yeah.
so it's very important that, women are playing a role in this very diverse and fast paced tech, so that there's no, discrimination, there's no sidelining. So that's what excites me and terrifies me also.
Fantastic. It's fantastic. We're just about to get into the Q&A section, but I always like the panelists during our sessions to give the audience one parting shot, one main thing that they would want the audience to leave here with, from each of you. And so maybe we can do Thelma and then Pauline.
Okay, I would say be loyal to the future you want. And that's what has, like, driven me all these years. Like, I am loyal to the future I want. And I say this in different aspects. If you are loyal to their goal, maybe you want to become a senior DevOps engineer, you have to commit to the hours because they will not just fall on your laps. You have to study, you have to network, you have to build in public. And I also say this in the terms of career. And this is in relation to I think Lydia's question. So sometimes we start off where not where we want to be. So be loyal to your career, despite where you find yourself. And also I add this because I see a lot of women in companies that has made them small, has made them forget the vision they had about their career. Loyalties to your career comes first. I hope my employer is not on this call before the company, because sometimes you might find yourself in a company that doesn't align with the career goals you have. And I mean, life happens sometimes. I'm very
Yeah.
privileged. I just to put a disclaimer out there, I really love the company I'm working at right now. But if you find yourself in that situation, you have to remember that your loyalties are to you first, because there are some companies that it's a transactional relationship. What you give and what I give. As soon as you can't give what they want, like if your goals don't align, they can easily cut you off, especially in this fast moving tech space.
Yeah.
So be loyal to what you want. Remember that if maybe your company is working on XYZ, but you want ABC, you work on the XYZ. After work, you learn, do your prep on the ABC with the faith that someday you will land the ABC role. So be loyal to the future you want. Don't become let me say, like, don't become a yes woman to the company. Your whole life is about the company, because a lot of
Yeah.
people, they live and breathe their work. No, that's not me. You will not find me there. So just like know what you want and stick to that. Play your role in your company, like meet your deadlines, like, do what you can do, break the impact you can, but don't do that at the expense of losing who you actually want to be. So,
Yeah.
Lydia, so it's fine if you have a career starting as a cloud support, because it gives you the experience to then apply for DevOps or SRE. Because people are always looking for experience, even junior levels. Sometimes I see roles they're looking for crazy experience. Where am I going to get that experience from? Like if I'm a junior, you know. But so just say yes to that cloud support and build your
Yeah.
experience. And then someday you'll be the DevOps engineer you want to be.
Mm, mm. That's powerful. Pauline?
Yeah, so my parting shot will be just what I said before, like do what you can with what you have and do it right now. You don't need to figure everything out at this moment. Get rid of the imposter syndrome. Keep pushing. Be yourself, and that is not. I'm not limiting you to cloud. You could want to be an entrepreneur or whatever you want to be out there. So just keep pushing day by day. Be consistent, and yeah, the world will align you to what the desires of your heart are, but only if you keep keep doing the work and showing up. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Can we please give Pauline and Thelma a round of applause, because wow, you guys have been amazing. Thank you so much for the wisdom you have shared with us, and thank you for reminding us that if we stay consistent, if we stay loyal to the future, the career that we want, and if we continue to work hard and upskill, we'll get to where we need to get to. So thank you for that reminder. Thank you so very much. It's now time for question and answers to the panel. So please feel free to ask. You can raise your hand and you can unmute to ask Pauline and Thelma any questions you may have, because I trust that Thelma, you answered Lydia's. So thank you for that. Oh, we see a question here. So feel free to put your questions in the chat or to raise your hand to be unmuted. So we have Declan Thanis here, and she's saying, in the past, there was in the past, there was virtualization and cloud computing, although not as advanced. What are some of the skills that a person who is into virtualization and computing have that the past skilled people in the same field might lack? I don't know who can take this question. Whoever might have an answer between you and Thelma and Pauline, you can answer.
Okay, I can try. So in the past, there was virtualization and cloud computing. What are some of the skills that a person who is into have that the past skilled people in the same field lack? So I think the concept of virtualization and cloud computing are more related. So I don't, whereby cloud computing was only possible because virtualization is possible. And what I mean by, for people who, if you have maybe been into the virtualization field, like building the hypervisors, it's still physical. I'm thinking about technologies like VMware and so on, where companies like bring in a server into their own small data center, and then they virtualize it so that it can have multiple servers in it. So multiple virtual servers in it. And that is exactly what happened, and now brought up the concept of cloud computing, because the likes of AWS are literally doing virtualization in their own data centers for you to have access to these specific servers. So some of the skills that a person who was into virtualization and cloud computing have that the past skilled people in the same field lack, I'd say the concept is still the same. It's just that every field keeps growing as well. So of course, people who are into, cloud computing and virtualization in the past, the basics are still there for all of us: networking, Linux, and so on. But the field keeps growing. I mean, like right now, the cloud space, as Thelma mentioned, we have like new announcements coming in on a daily basis. Right now, we have the concept of AI. I mean, I cannot breathe right now. As a trainer, I'm just being told, please upskill in AI. All the customers want to understand how they can integrate now AI into whatever they're doing in the cloud. But you see, as I mentioned, we are all leveled up. So there's some of these new technologies, the likes of containerization and whatever, that are still cloud, but like a level up that we are learning now. So I'd say we all had the basics foundations, but because the field keeps evolving, we evolve with the field in all these areas. Yeah.
Thank you, Pauline. I'll ask Thelma to answer this one from Victorine. I have been a software developer for 5 years. However, she wants to navigate into cloud security. What's the best way she can manage to do this?
Okay, first of all, do you have any knowledge at all of cloud? It's very great you are from a developer, because sometimes it gives you like the mindset. So she's honestly already on a good start. So if she doesn't have any cloud knowledge, I think she should start with that, because cloud security is more of a specialization field. You cannot really implement security controls if you don't understand like why you're implementing the security controls, or the infra you're implementing security controls for. So it's the same way, like how the experiences with software developer, you could easily carry that into cloud. Because I've worked with amazing developers that can easily, relate to what we're talking about in terms of cloud. So she's already on a good start. She should just know that cloud security is a specialization field. So she should rather build her cloud skills in terms of knowing like how to set up infrastructure on the cloud, the different integrations and connections. Then she can move to how can I make this infrastructure I just set up secure? Why would I go for these security controls when why wouldn't I not? Because frankly speaking, there are some security controls in the cloud that are a bit of an overkill depending on your scenario, because they can be very expensive. So you need all these, wholesome knowledge to be able to thrive in a specialization such as cloud security.
Thank you. Thank you for that. And thank you for the questions that are coming in. Do we have any more questions for our panelists? And if not questions, maybe comments on the session. maybe an appreciation. Yes, Joyce, please go ahead and unmute. We'll do Joyce first. Go ahead.
Okay, hi.
Hi.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for Pauline and oh,
And
the
Thelma.
other name. It's kind of hard. Okay, so I have a question. I have like 3 questions.
Mhm.
So for Pauline, she's talked something about integrating AI in the current roles in technology. So I was asking for someone who is getting into tech, what would make one more outstanding from the rest, especially everyone, especially in this scenario where everyone is getting into tech right now? So what would you tell someone, like, how would you encourage them to be more outstanding apart from learning how to integrate AI in their roles? What will make them more outstanding in the field of tech generally? And also, while you are getting into this tech field, for example, you're learning stuff online through YouTube, is there certification needed when looking for jobs, or as the or can one just build in public and still get a chance?
Thanks, Joyce, for that question. Those questions. Pauline, you can go ahead.
Okay, so I think with the rev of AI, what I'd say makes stand out is the human aspect of it. Like I'd say, yeah, a lot of developers were just here and record and whatever, but one of the roles that I have seen coming up right now a lot is a role called the forward deployed engineer. And these people are people who understand like the tech, but are able to talk to customers and, translate like why and so on. So I think what would make you stand out is, are you able to, now I'm speaking from my perspective, now you have the technology and now you're trying to figure out how can I, stand out compared to Pauline, who also knows the technology aspect of it. So now I bring you back to your soft skills. Like, can you speak? Can you, be eloquent about what you're building? Can you talk to customers and whatever and explain the aspect to it? So that is, I think that is, what is separating us in the tech field. So the human aspect of you, like, that is what makes you unique. What was the second question again?
And
The
my
second.
second question was,
Right.
in this field of tech,
Mhm.
since everyone is getting into it, is it necessarily that you have a certification?
Yeah, so I love that discussion it's always going on every time. So my own personal opinion is certifications kind of basically just get you like open doors and that also depends on which industry you're looking for. But then it's the projects that kind of, get you the job. I have seen a lot of people who have basically been the people who build in public and land roles. I've also seen people who take certifications and not build anything, and it's becoming like a problem because certifications just show like the knowledge. So for me, I'd say if you are able to get the certifications, if you're in a position to get them, but still building in public is very, very important. So certifications will just, okay, it's just like a credential. I know this, but only the projects will, show your experience. I think one of the major interview questions you'll always get in tech is, what have you built? Can you, talk us through that? And literally it's all tech roles. You'll have to, just say what you have built. I think even here, part of the questions to the panelists was, what project have you worked
Yeah.
on? So projects are very important. So if you can get a certification, get it. But I think building in public is very, very important. Yeah. And yeah, as you mentioned, not just building, but showing what you're building out here. Like, let people see. You never know. There are millions of people on LinkedIn, but you actually need only one of all of those to, get you where you want to be. It's that one person that will count and see what you're building. So I think that's my take on the whole certifications as projects.
Thank you, Pauline. Patricia, you've had your hand up. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Barbara. So today I actually don't have a question. I would like to commend the ladies, Pauline and Thelma, for the in-depth sharing, especially on the fact that they were real with the challenges in terms of how things are going so fast now. And even if you are transitioning, there's a lot to learn, there's a lot to catch up with. So I'd like to add that, yeah, everybody, even the topmost experts, they are all facing the challenges. So don't move around with your challenges written on your forehead like you are the only one suffering. Everyone else who is up there is going through it. So, like, be confident in the little you know. If you are asked about something now and you don't know it, that moment you get to find out that it even exists, and the next moment you are the one explaining it to someone else. So don't feel less of yourself for knowing what you know. And also for hitting on the learning openly. I am a LinkedIn geek, like like I sleep on LinkedIn literally because I know what it has done for me. I've not really done much, but the small exposure I have gotten, it has opened doors for me. It has taken me places. So just share. It doesn't matter if you are getting only one like or two likes. The small impressions that you are getting, there could be one person amongst that impression who make that make sense. So just share whatever little thing you learn, share. Even if it's a free course you are doing and you've picked up something new. Oh, I learned this thing. Like, and when I read more about it, it explained this, that. Like, just feel free and share in any little way you can. And people, you'll be surprised that people will actually be following your growth. With time, you will see that you've accumulated like a lot. That's really makes sense to maybe an employer or someone who needs you. So yeah, thank you, ladies.
Thank you so much, Patricia. So I think some of the questions in the chat have been answered. One was about someone, Oluwa. I'll call you Oluwa so I don't butcher the rest of your name. She's saying that she's trying to become a network engineer, but doesn't really know about cloud computing. Can she learn and handle both at the same time? And Thelma has responded, just in case you've not seen in the chat, that she would advise that learning networking first is the important part first. And then as it is quite broad and challenging, and then now transferring that knowledge into cloud. And I think that's a really good answer. And I think that's what you and Pauline have been saying, that learning the foundations first, then being able to add on to what specific specialization you'd want to go into, depending on how you're learning. So thank you again for the questions. And yes, I want to now, if there's no other question, I want to move on to the next bit, which is talking about the upcoming trainings and what's happening. Is there any other question before we move on? Okay. Abiodun, I'll answer your question just now. So there's been a lot of questions in the chat about whether we'll have a technical session on virtualization and cloud computing. The answer is yes. we are going to have one physical one during our AFCHICS Tech Women Summit for those who are able to make it and join in Nairobi. But we will also plan for another virtual one for those who can't travel and those who are in different parts of the continent. We understand, and we'll be able to package this again for you to learn. And Pauline is going to be our very able trainer on that day and on the virtual training day also. So I'm glad you guys came and you saw that you are actually going to get the good sauce and the good stuff from Pauline. So we will keep it posted, especially for those who want to attend a virtual one. We are going to plan for one in the coming months. And so that then you're able to also gain the information and the knowledge that you want, so that then you can see where to go into for your personal learning. And in addition, I want to talk about, we have a partnership with ISOC Foundation, and we are offering courses together with them on their online platform. And one of the courses is about designing and deploying computer networks. I think it's a really good foundational one also, that even as you're getting into network engineering and learning about that, it's an important one to learn. You can find the links on our socials on how you can join those courses. There's a variety of those courses. We have that. We have internet security. We have privacy. We have online trust and safety. And then we have internet exchange points. So feel free to reach out to us on our socials, and we'll be able to direct you to where you can get to learn these courses. And they're all free for all our AFCHICS members. So feel free to start. And there's some are self-paced and some are moderated with a moderator. So we'll be able to explain those ones to you so that you can be able to start your journey on the foundational learnings that you might need. Let me see what a few comments on the chat. Oh yes, look. Can't wait to learn from Pauline on the 26th. There's somebody else here saying, hi, Patricia, I would love to connect with you on LinkedIn. So this reminds me, I had put down a note, something very important that Thelma said about her friend who worked at a place where she wanted to go work and the friend vouched for her. I want to bring that into the community that we are building here at AFCHICS. We want it to be such that there's sisterhood. There's a place where you can support each other on different journeys that you're taking. So Jacqueline, I'll ask you to move to the next slide so that then people can join our community on WhatsApp and be able to be part of the sisterhood that we're working on building. We want it in such a way that if I'm in Ghana, for example, I can call up Thelma and be like, hey, I'm around. Can we hang? Or, hang out with Patricia in her country, also hang out with other people, even in Kenya, Uganda, and in Tanzania, Rebecca, being able to have a community to lean on, a community of sisters who are working in different aspects of tech, and even being able to share job opportunities, internship opportunities, learning opportunities. And that is part of why we do this session, so that then we can get to know about each other, but also be able to support each other in our different journeys. So thank you so much, everyone who has joined. Thank you, Pauline. Thank you, Thelma, for spending your time with us this afternoon and sharing all the good stuff with us. We really, really appreciate you. And after this, when you click leave, a survey will pop up on your browser. Feel free to fill it in, because we always want to make sure that these sessions get improved and get to serve you better. There's also going to be a section for any other comments. If you have comments for Thelma or Pauline, feel free to write them there. If you have questions for them that maybe have come later, feel free to write them there, and we'll be sure to send them to our panelists to be able to connect with you in one way or another. Yes, and then we have our AFCHICS Tech Women Summit coming up. Whoop, whoop. We always have an annual summit that we do. Last year we were in Ghana. This year it's going to be in Nairobi on the 26th, where we'll also have that technical training that Pauline will run. It's also going to be live streamed and virtual, so you can also join us online to get to engage with us on that day. We will be sending out the links and the information in this coming week. so that then you'll be able to prepare for that. If you have not registered, please do so that then we count you in sending that information. But then again, thank you to Thelma, to Pauline, and to each and every one of you who joined us today. I am glad to know you, and I'm glad that you always give us this opportunity every other week to bring people together to learn from each other. So without further ado, if there's nothing else from the community, I would want to give you back 24 minutes to the top of the hour. Before that, I see Ivy has a question. Her hand is up.
Hi, thank you everyone for attending. It's not a question per se. If you check your emails right now from comms@afchicks.org, you should have received the YouTube video. This was also live streamed on YouTube. You should have received that already. On there also, you'll receive a link that contains the free learning courses that Barbara just spoke about. That is the part I want to emphasize on a bit. Please follow the instructions on there. Stay within the page. Watch the onboarding video to completion. That is the only way you're going to get your links. Unfortunately, you can't skip, so make sure you watch it in full because there's important information on there. On top of that, there's a WhatsApp link on there also where you can join the AFCHICS community. You just click on it and then you will be admitted. And finally, we have the AFCHICS Tech Women Summit on there. There's a link. Make sure you read through the email to completion. I know these days we don't like reading emails much, but please just read it to completion and you'll get everything on there. If the YouTube link is not opening, don't worry, I'll follow up again. And yeah, that's all from me. Thank you and have a lovely weekend.
Thank you.
Ahead.
I've just remembered I didn't answer Abiodun's questions. We will be sending to you the configuration management workshop recording and the peering and XP workshop also. I think Ivy would make sure that you get those recordings. And even just as she said, today's recording is on YouTube, so you'll be able to get that even in your email. So again, thank you so much. We have a lot of love for you. You can tell how old I am from doing the sign. The Gen Z one is a bit hard for me to learn. My fingers don't know what to do. We appreciate you so much, each and every one of you, and we hope to see you in our next session, be it physical or virtual. Be utterly blessed. I will practice. Have a lovely, lovely day. And if you ever have any questions, please feel free to ask us on the community page on WhatsApp, or you can email us at admin@afchicks.org, or even respond to the emails that Ivy sends from comms. Thank you so much. Thank you, Julie. I see you. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Abiodun. You can feel free to drop off. Thank you so much, Thelma. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, Pauline. Each and every one of you makes this session amazing because you are here. Have a lovely weekend. Thank you.
Okay, I think I can end the meeting now. Thank you guys so much. Have a lovely weekend and be blessed.